Today is Wednesday, September 9th, 2022. It is also day 214 of Blender, and today I'm going to do basically a pillow, a 3D pillow at that, because day 212 was not a 3D pillow. It just looked like a pillow from the front, but from the back it was flat. So I'm gonna try to do a 3D pillow, and then I'm gonna make a text, a 3D text using geometry nodes, and I'm gonna use this font by um, Misty's fonts. It's called Quirky Stitch. I downloaded it from dafont.com, and of course, links will always be in the logs, which are in the description box below. Anyway, so let me open up Blender, which I didn't even open. So I'm gonna click on General for a new No, oh my god, what did I just do? Oh my god, I added. Let me just close this and do this again. I accidentally clicked on 2D animation. Okay, General, go to Geometry Nodes, hide the spreadsheet, click on New for a new Geometry Node system, disconnect the input from the output, Shift A, add a string to curves node, and this is going to be my text. I'm going to connect it to the output so I can see it in the viewport, which is the screen at the top over here. But I don't see anything yet because I haven't told it what to actually be. So I'll do something like Sarais pillow. And then to actually have it standing, I'll do Shift A and add a transform node, put that in between, change the rotation X to be 90. And that's just saying to Blender, hey, I want you to move this text 90 degrees along the X axis, which in this case is the red line over here. And now to add some faces, I'll do Shift A and add a fill curve node and put that in here. And then the fill type can either be triangles or n-gons. And the reason I want to change it to n-gons is because if I go here to wireframe mode, I'll be able to see that if I have it in triangles, the vertices are a little messy. So if I change to n-gons, it fixes things. So now it doesn't really make a difference visually, but it does when you do stuff later. And then the last thing would be Shift A, set material, so that I could actually give this a color, click on this material, and then I'm just going to go to material preview and just change whatever color I wanted. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. And then the last thing actually would be to put the font here. So I downloaded the font again from dafont.com. Over here, I'm going to go to the folder where the F is, and I'm going to go to desktop because that's where it is, and open that font, and I'll be able to see what it's looking like now. So that's pretty. Let me do Control S to save real quick. All right, so once you save, I guess now I'll start with the pillow. So I'll do Shift A and add a mesh plane. Do G to grab and then Z to grab along the Z axis, which is the blue line. And then I'll go into edit mode, right click and subdivide. And before clicking on anything, go to the bottom left corner and change the number of cuts to 50. So that just subdivides the mesh or the plane into 50, I guess, vertices. And then back into object mode, what I'll do is I'll go to modifiers and add a solidify modifier. Let's do something like 0. I don't know, 0.7, just do a random value. And then I'll play around with it later. Go to physics settings or physics properties, and I would go here and change that to cloth. And then I'll open up my timeline a bit. And what I want is I'm going to go and scroll down to where the pressure is, which is over here. Click on this. And then at keyframe 1, I want my pressure to be 0. So I'm going to hover over this value. I'm going to press I to insert that pressure keyframe on my timeline, and it's going to appear as a yellow diamond. Did I say keyframe 1? I'm in keyframe 0. And now in keyframe 1, I would want my pressure to be something like 1.3, and I'm going to hover over that value, press I, and that's going to insert that keyframe over here. And then keyframe 3, how weird. Insert that. Okay. So 1, 0, 1, and then keyframe 2, or maybe keyframe 3. Let's do keyframe 3. I would want the pressure to be something like 2. So I'm going to hover over that and press I to insert that keyframe. And now let me try to play it and see what that gives me. Okay, that's a very, very, very deformed pillow, but I guess we can work with that. I think if I play it a little longer, yep, I'll go back to being semi-normal, kind of. Right click shade smooth. I guess that looks kind of okay. Could be better. It could definitely be better. Maybe if let me see. So, let me see what I can do here. If I just look at it from Let me end at 3 and see what that gives me. It barely does anything. All right, where did I end it at? 256? Okay, so something around here, maybe over here would be good. I think that's really nice. Okay, right there. So about 16. So now what I'll do is I'll go into modifiers and I'll apply the solidify modifier, I'll apply the cloth, and now it's a mesh now. And I can go to object properties, change the rotation to 90, which is like the equivalent of doing the transform in geometry nodes. Changing it to 90, it's the same thing. So that it rotates 90 degrees along the x-axis, so that it's standing up basically. And what I'll do now is just bring it down by pressing G and then Z. So this is nice, looking good. And then I'll add a material. So I'll do Control S and then I'll go to shading and then I'll click on new for new material. And as I'm clicking principled VSDF, I'm going to do Control Shift T and that should pop up this window. If you don't get that, it's because you need to go to Edit Preferences and then Add-ons and make sure your Node Wrangler add-on is checked on, and then you can do Control Shift V. And then the other important part is really to just um, make sure that you're clicking on Principled VSDF as you do that. So Control Shift T, and then just go. Oh well, I didn't show this part, but I downloaded. Maybe I should go and download a new fabric. Let me go to Ambient CG, literally like my favorite site. I say that every time I visit a site. Okay. And then just explore some assets. And so I think I'm going to go with fabric, which should be up here, and then kind of get like a, I don't know, pillow fabric, something that I haven't used before, maybe. Let me see. So there are a lot of good options, but I think I'm going to go with this one over here, just because I think it'll look better with the text. So I'm going to download the 4K version and just wait for that to download. All right, so now that it's downloaded, what I like to do is click on the zip file and then just make sure that your desktop is clear and then just grab them all and go to the desktop. I mean, just drag them to the desktop. And then in the desktop, I create a folder and I'm going to call it, what is this called? Fabric 7. Whoops. New folder, Fabric 007. And then I'll just select all of them except these fonts here and just put that in that folder. Now, when I go into Blender, I can go to Desktop and select the Fabric 7 folder, select the first material, and then scroll down, Shift, select the last one, and then click on this Principled Texture Setup. And then that material should pop up there in a few seconds. And this is what it's looking like. So it's cute, I guess. And then the last thing I would want to do is, um, let's see, what would I want to do? That's a good question. Maybe apply, well, it is a mesh, it's already there. So my thing is, how would I convert this to a mesh? I could go to geometry nodes, but if I apply it, I won't be able to see it. Is there any way to, let me Google it. All right, so the goal here is to convert this to a mesh because I know for a fact that I can't use a shrink wrap modifier, which is the modifier that I was going to use to attach the text onto the pillow if the text is not a mesh. It has to be an actual object right now, like a mesh, but currently it's not. It's just a modified cube. Um, so there's two options that I have: do all this or just export it as an object and then import it back into an object. So I'll try to see maybe if this works. So object apply, make instances real. If I go here, let's do no, because it's going to delete the things. So object and then apply, where would that be? And make instances real. And then what? Um, so if you need the to begin, you need to do object relations, make single user object and data. Is that there? I don't see it. So again, object, apply, make instances real. I have absolutely no idea what just happened. Like, what is this? What? It did it 3 times? Oh my god, I did it like 5,000 times. What if I delete it? Even when I delete it, I think it just literally did it like like so much. So what I'll do is I'll select these, I guess. So I'll select all of these. Let me try to do that real quick. So from cube 12 to maybe 4, just delete those. Okay, and then keep doing that. So just this one, cube 2, and also cube 3, delete those in the outliner. And then I have my copy. But my question is it actually real? If I go into layout, I go to object, relations, let's do make single user object data and materials so that it's not related to this. Let's see, does it still have geometry nodes, but it disappear if I click on apply? Yes, that's the problem. So how would I fix that? I don't know how to fix that. Let me think. Let me try the shrink wrap modifier. So if I go here and click on add and then shrink wrap, and then let me do control S to save, and then just select the target, so it's the pillow. I don't think it would even work. Yeah, it doesn't work. Unless I go to geometry nodes to put that on top. Nope, doesn't work either. So, you know what? Maybe the best thing to do is because this is not an animation, I don't actually need to do this with geometry nodes. So how about I just delete this, okay, and then go to layout, shift A, add a text, and then rotate it, so R, X, and then 90 to rotate along the x-axis. Go into edit mode, and then by default, you'll be able to edit the text. I'll do Cerise pillow, and then I'll go here to object data properties, the A icon, go to font, select the font that I want. Um, I could have done this from the beginning. It would have been so much easier. And then go to modifiers, shrink wrap, and then select the target, and then it should wrap along the pillow, but it's wrapping in the corner, and that's another problem that I have to fix. Let me say offset 0.1. It's so weird. Control A, apply the scale, Control A, apply the scale. If I just do GZ to bring this up, and then GX to move it this way, maybe scale it down would be a little bit better. GZ to bring it up, GX to move it to the right, GZ to move it down. And then let's see, I'm able to see it, beautiful, and it's wrapped. Well, let's do 0. And now it's literally on the pillow, but what I would need to do maybe is add a solidify modifier so I can maybe see it a bit more. So I'll probably do let's see, what would I do? Maybe 0 point, let's do 1 so it's offset towards the the outside. Okay, so that looks good. And then material properties, and then I can do something like add a material, click on new. I don't know, what would be a good material? I can barely see that. So maybe white would have been better. Just something like light. Cerise pillow, I guess that works. And then maybe just bring that down a bit. And maybe just make it real small, because usually stitches are small, right? And notice that it's wrapping around the actual pillow, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's it for today, I guess. So the last part would be Shift A, mesh, and then plane. Scale that, and then go into edit mode. Nope, wrong thing. Edit mode, and then what am I doing? Oh yeah, edge select. Select the back edge, and then press on E to extrude, and then Z to extrude along the Z axis, which is the blue axes, and then go to modifiers, add a bevel, so I can make a backdrop by increasing the amounts and the segments. And then on the arrow, I'll click apply, right click shade smooth, S to scale, and then X to scale on all the X axes, which is the red axis. And then probably give it a material. I don't know, what color would I give it? What's a contrasting color to blue? Um, red? Something like that. I don't even know. Maybe purple. Nah. Trying to find a good color. What if I just do pure white? Um, eh, so whatever. Anyway, let me just do this, just move it to the right a bit. So GX and then go here and then do Control Alt Numpad 0. And that's going to align my camera to the view. If that doesn't work, go to Edit, Preferences, and then go to Input, make sure Emulate Numpad is on. And if that doesn't work, make sure you have a camera in the first place by doing Shift A and adding a camera. To get out of this view, press the middle mouse button. To go back into the view, press on the Numpad 0. So I'm kind of going to play around with this a bit more. All right, so maybe something like that. Just kind of want to see that it's thicker. So maybe just move this a little bit toward the top. And then maybe move this a little bit more over here. Then do control. All right, so then, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that. So numpad 0, and that's what it's looking like. And as for the background, I don't know. What do I want to change it? Maybe something like this hex code here. I'm just gonna play around with the values until I find something that I like. So maybe what I'll do so the color of the background looks a little bit better is go to shading and then literally disconnect the principled BSDF. And instead of that, let me just delete that. Shift A and add a, let's say saturation. Which one is it? Hue saturation. Paste that in the surface, and then the color is just going to be that solid color, and it's not going to be affected by the lighting. So now let me find a color. So maybe this one, try to see if that would work. Hex, paste that in there. That's kind of the color that I had. If I go numpad 0, that is what it's looking like. I don't know. I'm not feeling the colors. Why is it so hard to pick a color? So I'm gonna go with this color over here, D4A373. It's kind of like a, peach neutral color. And just last thing that I would want to do is just maybe move this a little bit towards the left so I can actually see it, but then it deforms this S, so that's annoying. Let me see. What if I do, where is the thing? What if I do project? That's a little weird. Target normal. Much better. Okay, target normal project or project. I don't even know. Numpad 0. So that's what I'm gonna end up looking like. So I think that's okay, I guess. Now I'm just gonna go to render image, and that's literally it. So just wait for it to render, and that's the final result. So let me just save them. I like to save my stuff as the date, so 9922, and then R for render.png. Put it in my render folder here, if I could ever find it. So we had some Blender, renders, save that in here. Oh my god, that's so funny. I use the same color as as I did for the other time I did the pillow, kind of like a yellowish peach color. Why do I do that? Anyway, that's it for today. Bye.